So that's our project. And if you already know, if you've been following from day one, then you must be knowing these basics of how to open a project. So without wasting much time, I'm going to run this project by simply clicking on this execution button, and then it will start running my project. You should be able to reach this point without being helped and do it by yourself. But you can't reach this point, then you really need to go and watch our previous videos until you are conversant with everything. So to start processing, and then we'll have a what? We'll have a project that is going to be reflected here on my emulator. But if you're having a weak phone, a weak laptop, which is having less than 8 GB RAM, then you better use a phone. And I already showed you how to do it, how to use a phone as your emulator, other than using the real emulator itself, because this real emulator will slow down your computer, and you may regret why you did why you were developing on an emulator, because it is very heavy. But my computer is a little bit powerful, so it can handle the recording of the video, it can handle the class, it can handle the emulator itself. So let's wait a minute as it is compiling, and then we see how we resume with today's business. It is compiling. When it compiles for the first time, it takes a minute. It takes some time. So it is there compiling. So today we're going to look at the list view. It is still compiling. It takes some time. We're going to look at at list view. So list view, it helps us to organize our content in form of in form of a scrollable list. If you watched up to the previous videos, we practice up to the place where you can do you can, and we discuss about what is meant by column, and understood. We'll look at the rows. You also did you also understood, but we did not look at something that you may want to scroll. For example, a list, a column, you may not want to, you will not be able to scroll it, even though it is having too much content. And realize these things when you keep on proceeding into development. So we looked at how to create such a container. So if you click on this container, you'll be able to get the page of the container and discuss how you can format a container. We looked at text. We looked at the container. We looked at the padding, what's meant by padding. We looked at what's meant by container, how you can format the container and style it. We looked at how you can create a row and how to play with the row itself. We looked at the column. So today we're going to look at the list. So how can you create a list? Okay. So to do that, I'm going to just simply come to my home page. Okay, so the home screen, and I'm going to add there an item that will enable us to navigate to a list page screen. So we first create the list screen. Okay, so to create the list screen, what I'll do, I'll just simply come here to screens. Okay, then I'm going to get an existing screen, for example this row, the one that we use to elaborate rows, and I can duplicate it, of course. Okay, so I can duplicate it. So duplicate it, just right click and copy it, Ctrl+C, and then paste it, Ctrl+V. So by doing like that, you'll be able to do to duplicate. You just click on a file, Ctrl+C, and then Ctrl+V. Then you'll be able to duplicate it. So I'm going to call this one screen list. So I mean that's going to be my screen that I'm going to use to practice list. So there we have now two screens. This one, screen list. So I can come and rename the class of this screen, and from the screen row, I'm going to change it to screen list, like this. Then after doing that, I can change here the title to screen list. Okay, and then I will be able to know that here there was a body, and I'm going to remove this body, and I'll use it to put their content. So I'll close this body, and then I remove it. So I can just simply say text, and I say screen. I can say list. Okay, so this is just nothing but a text. So after doing like that, you see this is just a simple class of screen list. We are going to put our list. So after doing like that, I'm going to add this list on this menu so that I should be able to navigate to it. Okay, So to do that, I will just simply come to our home screen, and the home screen can be found here at the main. Of course, we put here the main, and then you see here the items that are here, the one which appear here. So I'm going to come here and duplicate this one. You see, we had a list tile here. So I'm going to duplicate it so I can have another one. So to duplicate it, I'll just simply select where it starts and where it ends and press Ctrl D. So Ctrl D will be able to duplicate a certain screen in Android Studio. Okay, so Ctrl D. So after that, I'm going to change this title. So if I save, I'll be able to get what? I'll be able to get the updates, and you can see they're going to be what? They're going to be 2 items which have the column layout, column layout. So I'm going to change this one and change this name to list screen. Okay, let me say list. Okay, list view. So after doing like that, I'm going to save, and then we'll see the update will change to what? To list view. So what I need to do is now change this class from what? From screen column. I'm going to change it to what? To screen list. Okay, this is just screen list, the class that we just created. That when someone will press there, I should be able to launch that screen list. And then after doing like that, then you'll be able to finish it in that way. So it means that if I now click here, if I now click on this screen list, I'll be able to get the screen list here. So I'm going to press Ctrl and click on this screen list so that I can be able to be jumped or to be navigated straight to the what? The screen list. So I'll press Ctrl and hold it and then click on screen list. You see, I've been taken to the what? To this screen list. So after doing that, I'm going now to change this one, okay, to a screen list view. So a screen list view, I mean a list view, to create it, of course, it will have multiple list content. So to create it, I will just simply come here to the body and then do it like this. So I just come here and say list view. So after saying list view, of course, as we discussed in previous classes, we say that all Flutter widgets are organized into 2. It is either a Flutter widget is either a single child widget or it is a multiple child widget. So a list is having a multiple child widget, okay? Multiple child widget, okay? So it will have more than one what? More than one item. So it means that if instead of putting here child, like they were doing in container, here we just simply put children. So the content to go in this list, they will come here in its children parameter. So it means that if I start here by putting my text 1, okay, text 1, it will be like this. Okay, I can say maybe text 1. So it will be like that. So and with the separated the comma. So it can take multiple children because you can see it is a what? It is an array. So if I press Ctrl and D it will create it will duplicate, of course. So if I press Ctrl D, can you see? It is text 2, Ctrl D 3, and then 4. So if I save, you can see you're going to have here multiple elements, and you can see we are having 3 different lists. So it means that we can have multiple items in this list. So there are more things that we can do with this list. The main point here, it is a list that will arrange our content in form of column, but it will be what? It will be scrollable. This is just different from a column or a typical column widget, because a typical column widget, it does not allow scrolling. Once it gets full, you cannot scroll it. But with list view, you can be able to do what? To scroll it. So now what if I want to repeat myself? Maybe I have a certain layout. Assume that I have something like this. I'm going to put here now a container, and then inside this container we have of course a container will take just one child. Okay, to take one child, and then we have a what? We have a column inside this container, and inside this container we're having a what? We have children. I mean, inside this column, we have children. And then inside these children, we are having maybe something that's going to have a name. For example, let me say we're going to have something like this. We're going to have here just a simple text that is going to have maybe an item name, and then we can style it a little bit. Okay, so to style it, just simply put style tag and then pass the text style. We already went through all these text style. Okay, we already passed through this. Okay, and then this text style, we can change here its weight, the font weight, and maybe change font weight bold, and then you can also change the color of this to be colors dot what dot black, and then we can change the size to be maybe 18. Okay, so if we save, you can see it's going to do what? The content is going to update. Okay, my laptop is a bit slow today and updating. Okay, so you can see the item is there. So let us make it become here on the front part. So make it maybe 22, and then if I want to align it to begin from the beginning of the line, so I just put text. I just put align. Alignment. Align is one word. Text. I think text align goes through the parameter, the main parameter here. Text align. So take text align dot what dot start. Hopefully that one will make it to become here at the beginning. No, it fails. So if we come here to the column, we have axis, cross axis. We put cross axis alignment dot start. Hopefully that one will make it come here to the starting. Yeah, it has come to the starting. So that goes in the column. So what if that is an item name, and then maybe under it we're going to put maybe there's something like price. So I'm going to duplicate this very item, and then I'll change just the styling. So I'll just duplicate it, Ctrl D, and then maybe can put here item caption. Okay, caption, and then we can now simply come here and say this item is going to have the font weight will not be black, will not be bold, it will be just normal. Okay, and then the font size, it will be maybe 16, and the color will be gray, and then put shade of gray shade of maybe 700. Okay, so if I do like this, it will have an item and its caption. So you see, we have an item and its caption. So I hope you can also style things like this. Okay, so after doing like that, we can now come and maybe put some padding on our content, our main container. So it's going to have maybe color, and then you say colors. Sorry. It's going to have padding, and then you put edge insert dot only. Put dot only, and then you put left, and maybe put 20. So we're going to have here some padding of what? Of 20, and then you put right also 20, and then you put top maybe 15, and bottom 15. So by doing like that, we'll have our simple list item. But now this is just a single what? A single item. You see, to create such a beautiful thing, it needs you to write all these lines. But if you already know these lines in the head, so It's just time. You sit down and do something beautiful like this one within a minute, and then you have it forever. So you see, you have an item and its caption. An item and its caption. It can be a product name and price. It can be a username and maybe another, and it can be someone's name and maybe his phone number. It can be, so you can use such a thing in any way that you do what that you want. So assume that we now want to have these things in multiple. Assume that we want to record the countries and their capital city, country and their capital city. For example, if we say here Kenya, and then of course the capital city of what? Of Kenya is going to be Nairobi. So if I do like this, it means that I have only, all this code is just presenting only a single what? A single item, a country and its name. Now what if I want to add maybe Rwanda and its capital city? So what does it mean? I'll have to duplicate the whole of this, okay? So I can do collapse. You know you can collapse by just simply clicking on these pluses, okay? So I can collapse, put a comma there, copy, and then paste, okay? So if I save, we have two items, So maybe I can say Rwanda, it's Kigali. So you see, now the problem is I'm writing too much codes that I can reuse, okay? Now assume that I want to change the color of the caption to be red. So what does it mean? I'll have to go everywhere where there is caption and change that color manually. You see, this code is already too much. You see, just presenting these two things, I've already written all this code. Now what if I want to change this color? So it means that I may want to reuse this code not only on one item but on multiple what? On multiple item. So that's where we come to the minds of creating what? Of creating widgets. We call them widgets, customized widgets. You create your widget and then you can reuse it again and again and again and again. This widget can be in form of a class or in form of a what? In form of a function. So for us, I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you. For example, you see this, the size between two items, it is too huge. It means that if I want to update it, maybe I want to change it to reduce it, I have to come here and put 5 and again look where it is here and put also 5 here. So what does that mean? It means that I've repeated myself. But you want, like, in case you want to do that, you just write it one time and then you have fixed it. So to do that, it means that you'll need to write what? You need to write what you call widgets. You write them or components and then you can reuse them again and again. You can reuse them in this project or in what? In different project. So I'm going to show you how we can do that by creating a widget that is going to represent what? A single item. You're going to write the code only one time and then you're going to do what? To reuse it. So to create such a widget, after understanding that there is a problem of repetition of code, to create such a widget, there are two ways how you can do it. You can either do it in the same screen, you can either do it in the same page, or you do it in what? In a different in a different layout. So I'm going to begin by maybe doing it from this very layout, and then I'll show you how I can do it also in the different what? In the different layout. So I'm going to create that widget. So to create that widget is just nothing but a what? But a function. You can even put it anywhere here. So I'm going to create that function. So this function will return a widget. So I'm going to begin by writing the word widget like this, okay? And then you write the name of the function. So the name of the function, I'm going to call it single list item. You can call it anything that you want. And then you open bracket, and then curly bracket, and then you put like this, okay? So it is a function. So as we promised that we will return a what? We return a widget. So you come and say here, the main thing that this one is returning is what? Is a container. A single class is a container, right? So it means that you have to come here and say return. So it can be a text field as long as it's a widget, a text, and then as long as it's a widget, it will be accepted, okay? So it takes the what? Is a widget. So this one is mean that it's a single item. But to do that, I'm going to remove this and copy. Since I've already written the code, so I don't need to repeat ourselves. So I'm just going to copy here one element here. I'm going to cut it and then maybe even remove this one because I don't need it. I don't want to repeat myself. So I'll come and remove also this one. You drop it from there, remove it. So there's no children. So here where there is return, I come and return this widget that we just created. Okay, make sure I put a semicolon at last. Okay, so you can see that it is just widget, single widget, and then inside here we return the element that we created. Okay, so after doing like that, so what does it mean? It means that now our list is what? Is empty, because this widget is just an independent what? It's just an independent thing. So now what if we want to now put there the item? Okay, we want to put there the what? The item. To do that, it means that I'll just simply come here and now do what? And now create and now call this function. I'm going to call it because I've written it separately. So I'll just simply come and call it here like this. Okay. So by calling it, it means that this function will bring this widget and place it here. So if I save, you'll see I'll have this widget replaced here. Okay, it will be replaced in this column. So if I put here comma and I just duplicate, you see, I just call this function multiple times, okay, and it will do the work for me. I hope you can see that. Okay, so it means that you see, I wrote the code only one time here in this widget, and then I'm able to do what? To call it again and again. Okay, so it means that we can write our code and reuse it even without doing what? Without repeating ourselves. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make this data dynamic, because we are seeing only random. Why? Because it's just only random that is written, and it is only a single widget. So what we're going to do, we are going to make this content dynamic. So to make it dynamic, it means that this function, we should make it receive something. Okay, so to make it receive something, we will put here what it should expect between this bracket. So this function will respect it will respect a title and a caption. Okay, so I'll just simply say a title is a string, so I'll have to write a string. So it is expecting a string called what? Called title, or anything. You can name it as you want, and then it will also expect another string and call it what? Caption. So I'll come, since this widget is now independent, now I'll come and remove this Rwanda and replace it with what? You still remember, you guys who learned date programming, you will replace it with what? With a title. Okay, so I mean that every time we call this function, we must apply it a title, and that title will be replaced here. And then I come and remove this guy and also replace it with what? With the caption. It means that every time we call this item, we must give it a title and the caption. And then the caption will be replaced in this second part, and then the title will be replaced in the first part. So by doing like that, you'll have written your code only one time, and you're able to reuse it. So let's go ahead. Now you can see here, they are already warning. Why? Because we did not provide the title and the caption. So I mean that this list, you can even use it for many things. You can use it for countries, you can use it for your users, you can use it for your products, you can use it for anything that you want. Okay, so I'm going to change this one now. Instead of putting, I'm going to provide the title. So the title is going to be, for example, Uganda, and then the caption, of course, the caption is going to be Kampala. So, and you see there's no more complaints. So if I save like this, this list is going to bring to dynamically feed and update. Can you see? I hope you can see that. So if I just duplicate this one and put Kenya, Nairobi. I come and put Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. I come and put Rwanda, Kigali. Can put Gambia, the Gambia, that is what, Banjul. Come and put Cameroon, That is Yaoundé. Yaoundé, I think, yeah. I'll put maybe Ghana. That is Accra, if I'm not mistaken. And then come and put Nigeria. Abuja. Okay. So if I save, now I can see we wrote only a single piece of code and we're able to do what? To reuse it. So if I want to change, I'll just simply come and change. Let me say that I want my caption to be red. So I'll just simply come and change here. Read only one time and every part will be updated. One time and every part is what? Is updated. So that is how we reuse components. It's very, very important in Flutter. You can create as many components as you want. You can even put this component in an external file and then you just be importing it. How to do it? I'll just come and collapse this one and then cut it. Then you're of course going to one here because it does not exist. So that I'll come I'll come here and create here a folder. I'm going to call it my widgets. New folder. I'm going to call it widgets. So when you create your projects, always make sure that your components are kind of reusable. Okay. So I'm going to create a class. A file. I'm going to call it my widgets dot. Okay. And then I paste that function there. Okay. So I press Alt and Enter to import. Is it Alt and Enter or Control and Enter? So press here, Alt and Enter. Is it Control and Enter? I don't know. On Windows, for Mac, is just Alt and Enter. It is imported. So you see, this one is now in separate file. So it means that you can come and create as many as you want. You just put here and then create another what? Another component. Then you come here and then press just Alt and Enter. Then it will be imported. They'll ask you to import. You say yes, import. And then you see, everything is sorted. Okay, everything is sorted. And then you'll have a clean code. And once it is an external file like this, it means that you can even reuse it in other screens. I'm being a little bit slow because I want you to understand concepts properly. So if I come and duplicate this again, okay, so let us have multiple, come and duplicate it. So if I save, now it means that it's going to be more than bigger than the screen. And you see, the bit about list, you are able to do what? To scroll. Can you see? You are able to scroll. But if this was column, of course, column works like a list also. You remember that. So I can just simply put here, column. Instead of list, I change to column. Of course, it will work. But the bad part about column, you cannot scroll. Can you see? It won't even bring an error. You cannot do what? You cannot scroll. Column has its advantages. And also the list has its what? Its own advantages. So list view will help us do that. Members, I hope you're together. I hope you are understanding. Are we together? Can I get feedback from any one of you? You guys are following? I shouldn't be here alone teaching myself. Oh, Victoria. Thanks for following. Yeah, Victoria, you've been part of the journey. Yes, Hadi, thanks for following. I'm going to get some representative who will help me to organize those new people. So I'll come to your inboxes and we'll see what to do so that you can help those guys. Because some guys, they think it's just fun. Some people, they don't have concept. Some people, they don't know how to get started. So I'll select like 5 or 6 people from you guys who have been serious from day one. And will help me organize. I'll assign like one person can help me to organize like 4 people or 5 people. You just help me. Just like the way I'm helping you. Just tell them, hey, please, you have to do this. You have to do that. And then you can give me also the report. My person did this and my person did this, like this, like this. So by like that, maybe you can have multiple people because we can have a lot of people understand what we're doing. Because If you don't do like that, people will get confused. They will fail to understand even where to get started from. And I'm a very busy man. I hardly get time to come and organize everyone. So we'll do that inshallah tomorrow. Okay, let's resume with business. We are remaining with how many minutes? We're remaining with 25 minutes to end out this class. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting concepts. I hope you're understanding why we need to write our items in form of widgets that are reusable, so we can avoid repeating ourselves when you're creating projects, or even reuse the code when you're creating different projects. So we go to the next thing, and that's going to be the images. Okay, I think that's even the end of our today's topic. Images, if time allows, you can look also at buttons a little bit, and then we'll call it a day. So so image in Flutter, they're categorized into two. We have asset images, and then we also have network images. So asset images are the images that are within the project, okay? Within the project. For example, if you have the image inside the project and you want to use it, so that's what we call the what? Asset image. And then we also have network images. Network images, these are images that are from internet, okay? So if we want to use an image from internet, we call it a what? A network image. So it's an image from external side. So today I'm going to show you how you can use both images into your what? Into your project. So what you're going to do here, you're going to create another screen that you're going to use to demonstrate network and what and what and network and asset images. So I'm going just to resave this file. So to resave the file, you just press function and F5. Okay, it will bring a save as well. So it will be like copying it. Okay, F5. If your laptop is having, or your computer is having second function, just press the function button and then the F5. So if you press F5, it will copy and duplicate that screen, okay? You can as well use manually like the way I did the first time. Come and click on the screen and say new. And come and say copy, at the same time paste, okay? So it will be able to also do the same thing, okay? So let's go ahead and duplicate this file, and I'm going to call it images, okay? Or I can call this one asset image. Okay, we can put all of them together, images, okay? So after doing that, screen images. So we have now two files. I have this one of screen images. So I'll make sure that I'm in this screen images. I'm now going to remove this example of what? Of list. I'm going to remove it and maybe put here text and call it screen images. And then I can say images screen. Okay, so by doing like that, of course, nothing is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this item on the home page so I can be able to navigate to it. So I'll just simply come. You can press Alt and Tab key. Alt and Tab key to navigate through your what? The files that you have opened. You press Alt and hold it and then the Tab key. Okay? So for Windows, I think the Windows is also the same. Control and the Tab key will make you navigate through the... I think for Windows it's Control, Windows, you press Control key, hold it, and then the Tab key. You'll be able to navigate through the what? The files that you've opened. For Windows, I think it's Control. The Alt will navigate the whole screen, So there we are. I'm going to navigate to our main screen, and then I'm going to duplicate this guy and change this one to images, and then come and rename this and come and change the screen here, okay? and change it to what? To screen image. That's it. Did I write the correct spelling? Screen image. Do you create it with that class? Let me make sure that I create the class. I have not changed it. Screen what? Images. Copy it. Come paste it here. Press Alt and Enter. Control and Enter. Is it Alt and Enter to import? And then it'll be good. So save. And then we'll have one more item called images. Load. My laptop is a bit slow today. I think I've not restarted it for so long. So if I click there, I'll be able to get what? I'll be able to get the screen images. Okay. So let's go to that screen. And then we're going to have here maybe column this time. Okay. A column. And then this column will have what? We'll have children. Okay. Then these children will have okay, we'll have the image. Okay, now I'm going to put here the image. So to put here the image, how do we do it? We'll just write image. Okay. Okay. So this image, it will take something called what? Called image. Okay. So the image, you take a parameter called image. So in that image parameter, you'll pass now whether it's going to be an asset image or whether it's going to be a what? A network image. So this image is going to take a parameter called image, and then here you're going to specify it's going to be an asset image. Okay. So this asset image, it will take the location where your images are, where your image is located. So to do that, we are going to create a folder that we're going to store there our asset image, and then this that folder will do what? We'll be able to allocate it here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to my project, and then I'm going to come here. Collapse the lib. I've just collapsed the lib. So on top of your project here, on top of the project, not inside lib, on top of project, come and create a new folder and call it assets. New folder and call it assets. So inside these assets, it's where we'll be putting things that we'll be reusing in your what? That we'll be using in your project. So inside these assets, now you can separate things into images and the rest, okay? So I can just simply come and put here new and then say people or people images, okay? Something like that. You can have an asset of logos, an asset of pictures, an asset of whatever. So me, I'm going to say here maybe images, okay? So an asset of what? Of images, okay? So inside this images asset, inside this folder of images, I'm going to put there the what? Some images, okay? So I can just right click and say show in the folder. Come here, the refactor. No. Come and say where there's open. So here on Windows it will be open in Explorer, but for me it is open in what? In Finder. So if you click on open in Finder, they will take you straight to where this folder is. Okay. So in Windows it will be open in Explorer. So let me click on open in Finder. You're going to see they have taken me straight to where this folder is. It is inside my Flutter components project. Inside, and I have assets folder that I just created, and then we have images. So I'm going to add here some images that we're going to use to what? To practice. And those images are going to be in the what? In the project. How can I do that? Let me see if I have some pictures here. I think I have some pictures. Someone is joining at this time. Okay, so I'll come and get some pictures. I think I have some pictures here. I have some pictures here. Okay. Okay, let me get here some just 2 pictures. Okay, like 3. These pictures are so heavy. Get light on this. Okay. Someone should mute your microphone. Okay. So let me get here some pictures. Like these 5. Okay. I'll copy them and then I'm going to put them inside our project that we just created. Okay. Here, inside the images assets. So right click and say open in Finder. For Windows, you'll have open in what? In Explorer. So I'll just click here, images, and then I'm going to paste here the image that I just drew. So I have, it means that you see, inside the images here, in fact, if I refresh, you'll see, inside images, I've got some images, okay? So let me go here and try to rename these images so I can reuse them simply. So I can rename this one. 1, rename this one. 2, I just want to be able to access them simply. 3, 4, and this one, the 5th, and the 6th. Okay, so after doing that, let us go ahead and access these images. So to access these images, so it means that you see, they are now in our project. Now I want to display these images on our screen, on the phone. I mean, on the application. So to access these images in the application, you just don't go direct and start listing them. No, you have to register them inside Flutter. That say, hey, I'm going to use these images in my project. So that Flutter can optimize them and include them in your project. To do that, you just simply come to this file, which is named as pub spec.yaml.yaml. This file, can you see? pub-spec.yaml. That's the folder where you have to first list the image that you're going to use. So click there, and then you'll see some things that are not there that you may not understand. So among the things that are there that you may not understand is where you'll find something called assets. Okay, can you see here, assets? But it's commented. So what you do, you have to uncomment it. Okay, and then just remove the comment only. Don't remove anything, just remove the comment. Because if you do any mistake in aligning, then it will not work. Okay, so here you're going to list the folders that you're going to use in your project. Okay, and these are asset folders. So inside a folder of assets, you're going to use a folder called what? Called images. So if you want to use only a single image, you have to specify it by just simply say images. So this is the folder, right? It is the folder. If you use another name, it's the one that you put here. Here, what you're trying to say, just telling Flutter that you're going to use this folder. You have to write exactly as how I'm writing it here. Otherwise, if you just write and maybe forget to put this space or put it in the same line here, maybe like this, then stuff will not work. It will not work, okay? So make sure that you align it indently like the way it is here. Then stroke, and then here you may list in case you want to use specific images. For example, I want to use only one.jpg, so you have to list that, say one.jpg. So Flutter, it will not import other unnecessary images into your project. Okay, so after doing that, then you're going to now add this image into your into your project. So you'll come back now to a screen. Now here where there's asset image, we'll come and duplicate it and put images stroke one.jpg. So by doing like that, hopefully it's going to more. Maybe you're supposed to start here the word assets. You're supposed to start the word assets because it is in assets folder. Hope it's now okay. the video the video, I'll have to this unwanted delays. I'll cut. So I had to add, I think, the word assets because it's in the folder of assets. Just slow today. Okay, there we go. So if I click on images, of course it will not show. Why? The network image may show, but they did not show. Both of them did not show. Okay. Now to see the reason, I think we have to add here the word, the fold of assets, and then it should show. Save. And also the network image, maybe the link is not correct. Let's get a correct link. So you see the mistake that we are doing? We do not start the word assets, And also when you report in your in this, make sure that you start with asset exactly as it is there. Would you do a mistake, then you mess. So network image, you simply write network, and then instead of putting asset image after in the parameter of image of a network, just change that link and write it as asset image, and then change the link. And put the link of your image. So I'm going to change this link and put the image, the link to the valid image. This link is invalid. Let me remove it. So this can be a link of your image from internet. So that's it. So let me duplicate this one and add maybe some other images. So I have other images like 2, 3, 4. So you see, beautiful. Our network image has come, and the images, they have come. But you know the problem that I told you? This is a column. We'll not be able to scroll. So if I want to scroll, change this one to list view instead of what? Instead of column. So I'm going to change it to list view. Okay. So save. So hopefully we're going to have this. You see, this one is coming from internet. So I can have this. Okay. So like that, you'll be able to display images from what? From internet, also from your what? From your project. So I'll give you a assignment to try. I'll be able to do something like this. So you see, I have multiple images from my project, and I am able to scroll. So I can see how you organize them. I put caption, and this last image is coming from what? From network. So it for today, until we meet again in our other class of Flutter mobile application development. I will upload the video. I'll share the link. I will also share the task. This time you have to try something, and then you will also do how we always do. You push in your GitHub and then notify me. After notifying me, I'll be able to give you your point as how you always count, as how you know. And I'll choose some members from you guys, and you guys will help me to organize those new free people. And those who are not really serious, of course, we'll remove them from what? From from what we are doing. We'll eliminate them. Okay? So that's it for today, and see you next week. Bye-bye. I'll upload and share the what? And share the video. See you guys. Good night to everyone.